Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Wednesday, September 21, 2022. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Abusive man murders son, attempts to murder wife, then commits suicide. Urgent measures needed by region to control skyrocketing food prices, says President Ali. All elections COI spending, including salaries, will be made public, says AG NANDLALL. APNU+AFC writes GECOM seeking investigation, disclosure of alleged voter impersonation, and COVID, less than 1% of eligible population returned for second booster dose. Now for the news in detail. Tragedy struck this morning at Anns Grove on the east coast of Demerara after a farmer went berserk and hacked his son to death before attempting to murder his wife by chopping her about her body and then setting her on fire. In our lead story tonight, Lawanda McAllister reports that the killer subsequently committed suicide. Here are the details.
That was the body of the suspect, 57-year-old Leon Bob, being transported to the hospital by EMT after he attempted suicide. When police arrived on the scene, the killer was still breathing but died by the time he reached the Georgetown Public Hospital. The suspect, a farmer of Anns Grove, East Coast, Demerara, killed his 21-year-old son, Zion Scott, a security officer, by chopping him about his body whilst he was still asleep. The suspect then chopped his 53-year-old wife Sharon Scott before he set her on fire. The incident occurred during the wee hours of Wednesday at Lot 24 Middle Walk, Anns Grove. According to information received, the now dead man and his wife had an ongoing domestic dispute in which the suspect accused the woman of having affairs. The suspect reportedly physically assaulted the woman on several occasions, causing their son to intervene in a bid to rescue his mother. On the day in question, screams were heard coming from the couple's residence, after which the wife was seen running out of the house with blood on her clothing. At the time, the suspect was armed with a cutlass. It is suspected that the man killed his son whilst he was asleep to prevent him from coming to the rescue of his mother. The woman was rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital by her daughter and was admitted a patient, suffering chopped wounds on her left side neck, right hand, and burned marks about her body. Meanwhile, police said when they responded to the scene, the 21-year-old man was found lying motionless on a mattress. A large wound was seen on the left side neck. The suspect was then found lying on a blood-soaked mattress in a room with a large wound to his abdomen with his intestine protruding. An investigation is underway. Reporting for the evening news, Lawanda McAllister.
President Dr. Irfan Ali has called on governments across the region to collaborate and devise appropriate, urgent measures to shield the most vulnerable from increasing food prices. Find out more in this Gerald Bryan report.
Ghana's President Dr. Irfan Ali has asserted that the vulnerabilities and uncertainties in the region's food system must be fixed to make them more inclusive, sustainable, ensuring that delivery targets the well-being of the people. This message was delivered at a forum hosted by the Andean Development Corporation (CAF) Development Bank of Latin America on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly (UNGA). The forum is to highlight food security in Latin America and the Caribbean and to discuss challenges, strategies, and urgent action. As lead head for agriculture, agricultural diversification, and food security in CARICOM, President Ali reminded the gathering of the challenges facing the world in relation to poverty and hunger and its devastating effects.
During 2019, 7.4% of the population of Latin America and the Caribbean lived in hunger, which is equivalent to 47.7 million people. The situation has been deteriorating over the last 5 years, with an increase of 13.2 million undernourished people. Over the last 5 years alone, in Latin America and the Caribbean, we have an additional 13.2 million persons who are undernourished, much of whom are children and women.
He explained that if this trend continues, it would be impossible to achieve the targets set out in Sustainable Development Goals SDGs Goal 2, Zero Hunger by 2030.
As of March 2022, food inflation across 20 countries in the English and Dutch-speaking Caribbean increased by 10.2%.
In Guyana, he noted, the government has taken steps both locally and regionally to reduce food imports by 25% by 2025. This will be done through investments in technology, research and development, removal of trade barriers, institutional strengthening, and expanding access to agricultural lands. In this regard, he encouraged governments in the region to revamp and increase efforts to ensure food security, especially amid the skyrocketing food prices.
Governments across the region must devise an appropriate combination of urgent measures to shield the most vulnerable from food price increases and strategic actions to ensure the food supply is strengthened and maintained in the coming years.
Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister NANDLALL has stated that the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into the events that unfolded following the March 2020 general and regional elections that led to a 5-month political impasse in Guyana will be expensive but necessary venture. To this end, the AG has reassured that all the spending for the COI will be made public. Vanu Manichand reports.
Attorney General Anil Nandlall was at the time responding to a request made by APNU+AFC opposition Member of Parliament Ganesh Mahipal to the Commissioner of Information for full disclosure of the salaries of the 4 commissioners appointed to probe the March 2020 elections. During his weekly program, Issues in the News, Nandlall posited that government will publicize not just the salaries but all the spending of the COI.
Yes, Mahipal, it is going to be an expensive undertaking. And I want to assure that every single cent of the monies that are going to be expended will be made public, because it is public funds. We are going to make it public.
According to the AG, while this will be an expensive undertaking, this COI is necessary to bring to light those who were behind the events following the March 2020 polls.
Those who acted in concert with those who were part of the rigging cabal to rig those election results must be exposed so that the public will know them and appropriate actions can be taken thereafter. Secondly, that their role and what transpired must be inquired into and put on the public permanent record of this country so that future generations will know who they are and what role they played or they attempted to play in the destruction of this country. And thirdly, that this exposure and the consequences that will flow from it must redound to this not happening again.
Last week, retired Justice of Appeal Stanley John of Turks and Caicos, who will serve as chairman of the COI, along with former acting Justice of Appeal in the Eastern Caribbean Godfrey P. Smith, and former acting Chancellor of Guyana's Judiciary Carl Singh, were sworn in to commence the inquiry. Nandlall argued that the APNU+AFC opposition is not bothered by the cost but the findings of the COI.
They are not worried about the money. What they are worried about is the exposure. What they are worried about is what the Commission of Inquiry may expose. That is what they are worried about. And the consequential actions which may flow therefrom. So, the monies expended and to be expended are going to be made public. They have to be appropriated from the Parliament. So it's not a secret commission. So Mahi Paul doesn't have to go and write any commissioner of information. The information will be made public.
Reporting for the Evening News, Fanu Manakchand.
Region 5 is proposing a $6.6 billion budget for 2023. The budget proposal was approved by Regional Democratic Council, but as we hear in this Andrew Carmichael report, the Vice Chairman is accusing the opposition APNU+AFC of not contributing to the proposal. Here are the details.
Region 5's $6.6 billion budget is being proposed under the theme Equitable and Sustainable Development within all communities. The funds are to be spent on the 5 program heads: finance, health, agriculture, public works, and education. Under education, $3.2 billion is being proposed. Acting Education Officer Karen Adams explained that $279 million will be spent on school buildings, $66 million for furniture and equipment, and $54 million for cleaning school compounds, while the further $17 million is being proposed for the maintenance of bridges leading to schools.
Our land and water transport, we would have proposed a 4x4 and a 42-seater bus and a boat for the barrique. We waiting minister's approval, so she wants to add 2 more vehicles.
Health is expected to take the second largest spot in the budget, with $1.8 billion being proposed. This should see $5 million being spent on the maintenance of both the Fort Wellington and Myconi hospitals, the doctor's quarters at Myconi, and several health centers in the region. The health department is also proposing to spend $301 million on medical supplies. Under agriculture, $476 million is being proposed, $78 million to upgrade farm-to-market roads, and $173 million for drainage and irrigation. Under finance, the region is proposing to spend $379 million. Under public works, $711 million is being proposed.
I would just like to see at this point in time if there are any projects that persons, councillors who would have submitted proposals, they're not seeing in the capital program. If you can indicate the specific project, I can confirm if it is on another program to be done or not.
Meanwhile, the Woodlands Bel Air NDC chairwoman, Carol Nurse, noted that the NDC 3 years ago submitted programs for a nursery school in their project proposal.
If we do not get the school next year, I trust that we can get it sometime in the future, because it's one classroom being used at the number 8 primary school to house the nursery school students. At first they were accommodated in the auditorium, and if there's any function they have to disrupt the auditorium. You know, well, the space area for the children right now in the classroom is very cramped.
Well, let me say that councillors had an opportunity to submit to the engineering department their proposals, whether it's 1, 2, 5, 10, right? At this time now, I'm not sure as to how many we can accommodate.
The honourable member, among others, would have failed to make representation on behalf of the people of this region. Mr. Chairman, I know for a fact that the administration was awaiting submission from the honourable member, among others, as it relates to the development of this document. But, Mr. Chairman, it is sad that this honourable member believes that the people of this region have no need for simple infrastructural development, among others, Mr. Chairman.
For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
Coming up, GECOM appoints Beverly Critchlow as Assistant Chief Elections Officer, and Canada launches multi-million-dollar project to improve justice for women and children. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Optic offers great patient care that is tailored for my entire family.
At Optic, a wide selection of affordable optical frames and optical services are available to fit your budget.
At Optique, my family is provided with comprehensive eye examination and access to the ophthalmology services, all under one roof.
Optique takes pride in delivering exceptional customer service and a unique experience to you, our customers.
Optique Vision Care is a company that is Guyanese born and grown that will help you take care of your precious eyes.
The biggest party in sport is back for the 10th year of CPL.
Let's rock and roll, gentlemen. That is magnificent.
CPL will be bigger, better and louder than ever, with more sixes, more entertainment and more of the world's best players.
That is simply sensational. Yes.
Get your tickets now at cplt20.com or at the box office. Join the party. Experience cricket played louder.
Supervet safety tips to help fight COVID-19. Practice regular washing of hands with soap and water or alcohol-based solution. Remember to always wear your mask whenever in public areas to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces daily with soap and water or detergent. Practice physical distancing by staying at least 6 feet away from others. Supervet cares about you. Let's help keep each other safe.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
On the job, you know how it goes. 1 minute, everything's going right, and the next, something goes wrong. Don't worry, Premier Insurance will make things right again. For all risks insurance, call 223-0840 or visit premierinsurance.ui. Fuel your success. Premier insurance coverage for less.
Let's celebrate Oreo's 110th birthday together with the limited edition birthday cake flavor and our promotion where you can win a wish valued up to $1 million. To participate, all you have to do is buy Oreo, drop your coupon or receipt into entry boxes, or enter online at www.everydaysnacksgy.com.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
You won't believe. Sorry, I'm interrupting y'all.
Marla, I'm here taking the census.
Girl, you done got a husband already, huh?
Miss, I am a census taker, going door to door so that everyone can be interviewed and counted in the National Census 2022.
What is the census though?
Well, the Population and Housing Census is a count of the population and all the buildings every 10 years.
Getting counted transforms an entire nation.
From Region 1 to Region 10.
You know what? I believe our village needs a health center.
I think it needs some roads too. You see the man boots out there, how it's full of mud, eh?
That's why I'm asking Mrs. De Silva a few questions from our questionnaire. We record the answers and then the data is used to help shape the future of the country.
Oh, so the two y'all not...
Oh gosh.
We call...
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. The Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, has appointed Beverly Critchlow as Assistant Chief Election Officer. GECOM said Critchlow's appointment emanated from a transparent process that involved all the members of the commission. That is, one in which all commissioners were availed of the opportunity to interview all the shortlisted candidates and, thereafter, indicate their respective choice to fill the position. Having heard the submissions of all of the 6 commissioners, Chairperson Claudette Singh concluded that Critchlow's qualification and experience, as well as her institutional knowledge, placed her at an advantage above the other candidates. The newly appointed ACEO has been employed with GECOM for 20 years and acted in the position of ACEO on multiple occasions, the most recent being 2017 to 2019. A letter has been dispatched by the political opposition to the Guyana Elections Commission seeking an investigation into and public disclosure of alleged cases of voter impersonation during the 2020 general and regional elections. Gerald Bryan reports.
In a letter dated September the 20th, the APNU+AFC wrote to the Guyana Elections Commission making a number of demands when it comes to the probe into voter fraud at the 2020 general and regional elections. For one, they have demanded that all information on voter impersonation be forwarded to the police and the General Registration Officer. Additionally, they demanded that any verified reports of voter impersonation be publicly released. The party also called for GECOM to do an internal probe into the matter, as well as take steps to prevent any potential voter impersonation in the future. During a press conference on Tuesday, opposition MP Amanso Walton Desir recalled that similar calls were made last week to GECOM.
We added that the Commission must then publicly release all the verification reports it receives and must apprise the nation of the corrective actions it intends to take should the verification process confirm massive voter impersonation, as we are confident it will. We have dispatched a letter to GECOM on this issue, and we will be providing you further information as the matter unfolds.
Attorney General Anil NANDLALL has already asked the police to investigate the documents of alleged voter fraud which APNU+AFC had provided to GECOM. At a press conference last week, opposition MP Roy Stilford had admitted that some of the information is indeed inaccurate. However, he had urged that all the information be verified. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Some 12,000 individuals are expected to benefit as the Canadian High Commission, in collaboration with the Justice Education System, launched a multi-million-dollar project called Strengthening Justice for Women, Girls, and Indigenous Peoples in Guyana. Details in this Luana McAllister report.
Global Affairs Canada is funding the 4-year project. The direct beneficiaries will be 10,000 to 12,000 women and girls living in Indigenous communities across Guyana. Indirect beneficiaries are men and boys, as well as a large number of Venezuelan migrants who have taken up residence in these areas. Home Affairs Minister Robertson Ben, during a simple launching ceremony, lauded the initiative as he spoke of the benefits it will reap towards the strengthening of justice for females in society.
I am hopeful, of course, that this project will be the template which will be rolled out across the country as it goes. It has 4 years, and of course starting in Region 1, which, as we said, is an area which is challenged. Issues of poverty. We have the challenges related to migrants, Warraus coming in. We have the challenges relating to mining and other regulated activities which are disrupting cultural and other practices. Barometers of a case in point. And we have the challenges related to illegal activities.
Meanwhile, Canadian High Commissioner Mark Berman explained that Canada considers sexual and gender-based violence, particularly against women and girls, as one of the most pervasive and egregious human rights violations.
Under this action area, our interventions seek to prevent SGBV, support survivors, and bring perpetrators to justice by working with and through a wide range of stakeholders in healthcare, justice and policing, education, social protection and economic development. And it includes developing comprehensive approaches to violence, particularly domestic violence, intimate partner violence, trafficking and exploitation, all of which typically affect women and girls.
Entities expected to benefit are the Guyana Police Force, Chamber of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the Judiciary, the National Tushao Council, Women's Group, and civil society organizations. They will be able to increase their capacity to deliver the respective services for women and girls. Lawanda McAllister reporting for the Evening News.
Though a sizable amount of the eligible population returned for their initial booster doses, less than 1% of individuals have turned out to receive their second booster jabs. Here are the details.
Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony continues to bemoan the current COVID-19 vaccination slowdown. In fact, there is still a significant segment of the population who are yet to receive their primary doses. A total of 446,683 adults, representing 81.1% of the adult population in the country, have received their first jabs. However, only 67.6%, 346,531 persons, returned for their second dose. The trend continues with the other age categories, wherein for the 12 to 17 age group, 35,751 persons, or 49%, received the first dose. On the other hand, only 26,229 persons, or 36%, returned for the second dose. For the 5 to 11 age cohort, 8,391 kids were vaccinated, representing 8.2%, while only 4.2%, or 4,269, returned for their second dose.
Again, this is an area that I think with the cooperation of parents, we can increase this significantly, but we need parents to give consent so that we can give their children the vaccines.
The situation is similar with regards to the administering of booster doses. A total of 63,921, or 12.6% of the eligible persons, returned for their first jab, but only 0.6%, 3,273 persons, returned for their second booster doses.
Again, there are people who are taking it seriously, making sure they get their boosters on time, and there are others who are very complacent. So we need to get more people taking this very seriously.
The health minister is reminding persons of the option of calling the ministry to have a team visit the home of any bedridden individuals in order to administer the immunization drug.
Last week, we were able to go out to about 40 homes, and it depends on the calls that we're getting. And if we're informed that other persons in the household would like to be vaccinated, then we also do that. So it's not just going to the household for the person who is bedridden. If the people in the household indicated that they would be taking the COVID-19 shots, then fine, we'll do that as well.
50 wheelchairs have been donated to the Ministry of Health by the Rotary Club of Georgetown in collaboration with the Mohan Tani Foundation to improve services within the public health sector. Lawanda McAllister tells us more.
The 50 wheelchairs are expected to give greater comfort to patients who access services at public health institutions. The symbolic handover took place on Tuesday at the Health Ministry's headquarters. In his address, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony thanked the Rotary Club of Georgetown and its stakeholders for the generous donation and encouraged other private citizens and institutions to do their part to revitalize the spirit of volunteerism in society.
We also want to express our thanks to the Mohan Tani Foundation. As you know, from time to time we do get a lot of requests for wheelchairs, and we have a network of rehab centers around the country, so we are able to meet persons in need, and in some cases when we see these persons, we don't have enough wheelchairs to supply them. So over the last year or so, we have been making a dedicated effort to acquire wheelchairs so that we can satisfy this need.
The health minister said there is still an unmet need and the wheelchairs will come in handy, especially in the interior communities. He also announced that the government will be providing no-cost hearing aids and hearing support services to people who meet eligibility requirements and do not have access to affordable hearing aids.
Our work that we are doing right now in the rehab department, there are three main things that we want to focus on. One, persons with hearing impairment and require hearing aid. For a lot of those persons, it was a challenge for them to get a hearing aid. And so one of the things that we have started this year is to remove the cost of the hearing aid. So now when people are tested, once we have a hearing aid, they will get it free of cost.
Similarly, the minister said they are hoping to provide prosthetics at an affordable cost for persons who might have lost body parts.
There are many persons who, because of accidents or maybe because of other types of complications like diabetes and so forth, might have lost part of a limb, and therefore they need prosthesis. And again, the cost of these prostheses might be very exorbitant, and so we're working to reduce the costs for prosthesis. And then there's other category of persons who might require temporary walking aid or mobility devices, such as wheelchairs. And in some cases, because of their disabilities, they might require more, they're more permanently disabled. So in that way, we need to provide aid to them in the form of wheelchairs.
Luana McAllister for the Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge report.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Thursday, September 22nd at 1 hour for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Thursday, September 22nd at 14 hours 45 for a period of 1.5 hours.
TKR ready for biggest rivalry in CPL with Guyana Clash, and Amazon Warriors inspire next generation through ExxonMobil engagement. Details of these stories and more in this sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Are you involved in a violent relationship and feeling hopeless? Does your partner shout at you, call you names, or hit you? Does your partner tell you where to go, who you can talk to, and how long you can stay out? Do you require your partner's approval on what you can wear? Does your partner keep money from you or takes your money? You are not alone. The National Coordinating Coalition is here to help. Call us on 628-7833 or 637-3319. We offer counseling, health support, and legal guidance to help you move forward. Our services are free and available for all migrants, Guyanese, men, and women. Gender-based violence affects not only those who are abused and controlled, but hurts our families and communities. It hurts us all. Together, we can work to end it. A message from NGO National Coordinating Coalition and made possible by the support of the American people through the United States Agency for International Development, USAID.
Yeah, ready? We are short so far. Look along, me tell you, buy one generator. Now the picnic online test and blackout come and cut off everything. Sorry, son. Radhika, Abby go tomorrow. Abby go now.
At Sylvie's, we stock products from more than 22 different sectors in mining, construction, food processing, vulcanizing, home improvements, and more.
Are you getting generator?
So this is a 3000 better size generator. This will work for your lights, your fan, your TV, and your fridge.
Well, Abby can buy one for Abby and Abby can buy one for Mommy too.
Yeah, and Mommy can even key start it, because all you have to do is hook up the battery and
visit us today at 31 High and Hatfield Street, where our friendly and knowledgeable team members are willing to assist you. You can also call us on 227-6243 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 and shop via our website at www.sylviesonline.com.
I big up your dal puri mill.
One plucking machine, one pressure washing machine, one juice dispenser, one engine, one pepper grinding machine, one water pump, one sugar cane juicer, circle sir. We gotta get alright then food warmer. We gotta get. What are you looking at?
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Let's celebrate Oreo's 110th birthday together with the limited edition birthday cake flavor and our promotion where you can win a wish valued up to $1 million. To participate, all you have to do is buy Oreo, drop your coupon or receipt into entry boxes, or enter online at www.everydaysnacksgy.com.
Cheryl, girl, you won't believe. Sorry, I'm interrupting y'all.
Marla, I'm here taking the census.
Girl, you done got a husband already, huh?
Miss, I am a census taker, going door to door so that everyone can be interviewed and counted in the National Census 2022.
What is the census though?
Well, the Population and Housing Census is a count of the population and all the buildings every 10 years.
Getting counted transforms an entire nation.
From Region 1 to Region 10.
You know what? I believe our village needs a health center.
I think it needs some roads too. You see the man boots out there, how it's full of mud, eh?
That's why I'm asking Mrs. De Silva a few questions from our questionnaire. We record the answers and then the data is used to help shape the future of the country.
Oh, so the two y'all not...
Oh gosh.
We call